The 6 tips I mentioned in today's video are likely going to surprise you, particularly the last one if you stay tuned right to the very end, because these are the things that I really want everyone that's in crypto right now to try and do to their best ability. Now, the reason why you want to listen to me in the first place and the reason why you want to even follow even one of these 6 tips is because I've been around in the previous cycle and I understand what is happening in the market right now. Many people seem to be ignoring what I'm about to tell you. Why? Because they let their emotions take control. They're letting the market makers and the whales who are manipulating the market to try and get you to sell them your coins, because they know if they do the same tactics the last cycle and the cycle before that and the one before that, that you're not going to fall for their tricks. So they're going to try to scare you in whatever way possible. But again, stay tuned. We've got 6 of these tips today to help you overcome that. So here's the thing, right? It's pretty easy for people to get kind of bored of YouTube videos these days, especially when they go on for too long. So I figured the crucial importance of this particular video, try to getting as many people to listen to the whole thing. Again, not for my own benefit. You've clicked on this video regardless. I'm happy. I get my one view. Maybe if you're really feeling it, hit the like button and subscribe down below. That'll really make it worth my while, right? Really make me happy. But I'm going to try to make this as condensed as possible here, not overload you with the deep details like I try to do sometimes, and just give you some food for thought on these 6 points, okay? Because truly, and I really do mean this, a lot of the directions some of you are taking in your own portfolios, it may literally allow you to make a lot more money or be a lot safer in the market, which is, of course, my goal in crypto. So sit back, relax, seriously grab a coffee or a water, and just try to absorb and let it sink in, right? Now, what's the first tip here? Well, the first tip is clearing up any of your shitty altcoins. Now's the time to do it, guys. Right, when the market comes down at such a degree where it is right now, where we're down, some altcoins are down even 40%. The top altcoins are 25, 30% down, even more, right? We have the unique opportunity to be able to rebalance our portfolio. All rebalance means is just reassociate your money into these different coins. So I actually did this recently with my own portfolio, okay, literally today. Now, I did this based on 2 very important things, okay? What coins was I underwater on? Which coins did I want to redirect money into to pretty much move money away from the coins that I wasn't too much underwater on, right? Just a little bit, right? Like 3-6%, which to me isn't that big on some of these positions compared to the size of my portfolio, and then allocate it to the coins that were down a lot, okay, because that allows me to do a very important thing, which is bring down my average buy price for the coin that's down a lot right now, which means that the multiples, right, the average buy price is now sunk, so the multiples to achieve the designated sell price has now grown. So I'm actually making more money in 2 kind of unique ways, right, because lower buy price and also because now I'm making more multiples. So that's what I would really encourage here, and be very careful with this because this one can get quite hard for beginners, right? How do you really know, okay, what makes a coin worthwhile selling and which ones are not? For example, like, why would you maybe want to sell Mina protocol in this case here and not, for example, Aerodrome Finance? Well, of course, Mina is a coin that's down less right now, so you can take less of a hit if you decide to not sell the whole position maybe, but sell portions of a position and reallocate to the coins you're down a lot on. For example, Manta Network, Singularity Net. I mean, the list can go on. This is hypothetical right here, a hypothetical portfolio, but it gives you some idea of what I'm talking about, okay? And maybe that also includes the coins you have no conviction on. So what that pretty much means is the coins that you don't really know too much about. The coins that maybe you saw one of your favorite influencers talk about, and then you did a couple other research videos and you went, no one's talking bad about it, I might buy it, okay? And then you end up buying it, of course, and then you go, oh, why did I do that, right? These are the coins you can liquidate. Keep in mind, again, though, the rough rule of thumb here is between 5 to 15% is probably okay, depending on how much money that is to you in the grand size of your portfolio to get out of. You don't really want to do more than 15% unless you know it's definitely not a good coin to be in, okay? This next one is actually such a common mistake I see people make, and it actually might be the biggest detrimental factor to their portfolio, and that is having too many coins to manage, all right? You don't want to have more than 15 coins for, I think, the majority of people. Here's the reason why, okay? You want to kind of use a rule of thumb where 1 coin equals 10 minutes of research per day. Now, you can cut down on this research by going ahead and following influencers on Twitter particularly, right? Like myself, links down below. Others out there are really great. You might even want to find someone that just talks about that coin and follow the foundation and the project itself and so on, right? But the issue here is the fact that that's going to require you to still look up each of these coins per day. And when you have 30 of these, that's 300 minutes. I mean, how many hours is that? That's like, what, 4 or 5 hours or something like that. So can you really associate that much time for it? And if you think I'm BSing you, try to do it right now. Go and try to find the most recent information on any of the coins you own and time that and actually figure out what has happened in the last day or last week, and you will find it'll roughly take you about 10 minutes. Again, you can cut that down, but that comes with time and experience. So I would say roughly, if you have more than 15 coins, it's 150 minutes a day, you might be stretching yourself thin, which means you're not going to know when it might be time to just liquidate a position or when it's okay to ride it a little bit more. Again, you can't judge sentiment. Number 3 is that you're very, very careful about dollar cost averaging. Dollar cost averaging, for those who don't know, is where you stagger your investments. You're not just throwing all of your portfolio 100% all in at one price. You stagger your buys over time, which usually means in most cases you should get a better entry than just throwing it all in. Believe you me, okay? And so in this case, what I'm trying to make shed light on here is a lot of people, they tend to dollar cost average at prices that actually don't allow them to meet their expectations in the market. So a prime example is a chart I've been using quite a lot here. You can ignore most of this green, gray, and red zone. But all you need to know is that when you're buying a coin, it doesn't make sense to buy a coin if you're going to increase your average buy price, so the average price you're actually exiting the coin, above a point that now invalidates a safe exit. That might be a lot of gibberish. All I'm saying here is if I zoom in with HBAR, for example, okay, and you're someone that's been buying HBAR around the 10-cent mark, which is pretty much about up here or so, okay? And you know that if you average it at 10 cents, you want to achieve, let's just say, a 13x, which is the green zone up here, which is the max price you can realistically get out of. If this is kind of confusing to you, I've made many videos on it. Again, this is part of my bull run cheat sheet. I've got this all planned out and color-coded here for you. These are just levels in which you know you can get out of coins safely. And so you're thinking to yourself, okay, so 10 cents to achieve my 13x. But then if you continue to buy as the market pulls up, right, HBAR is now back up here and you're buying all around these zones, before you know it, your average buy price is way up here, which in turn means, unbeknownst to you, that you now are only getting a 10x or an 11x. So you're missing out. And why this can actually be detrimental, you might be thinking, Kyle, it's still a 10x, who cares? Yeah, maybe. But you're looking for a specific revenue number at the end of the bull run, might be $100,000. And if you're at $80,000 thinking, yeah, $100,000 about to come around the corner, okay, it's never going to come, and you end up holding your tokens for the rest of the bear market into the next bull run, okay? So keep in mind, you must maintain a buy price level and an exit level you're looking to get, and the multiples in between, so you know, hey, okay, if I can't buy any higher than this, I can't buy any higher than this, time to find a new coin if I want to keep buying. That's why it's important to have a portfolio on coin stats, and again, having a portfolio built on tools like the ones I provide for my private community. Hey, you still with me? Well, do you remember the old TV show from back in the day? The three funny guys that were always getting into something, the Three Stooges? Well, the classic flick has returned, but it's with a twist. Stooges is a community-based meme project built on Solana that has sponsored today's video because they wanted to tell you, all you meme coin lovers, that you mean the most to them. Stooges is a meme coin hyper-focused on the community, and it shows in their tokenomics with only 15% of the supply being used for marketing, with the remaining tokens dedicated to the community through various means. They raised about $1.5 million in their pre-sale, and the token has been trading for almost 30 days now on Radium, which was recently listed on Bitmart as well. They aren't stopping there though. They wanted to share with you that today they listed on MEXC and have plans for several more large centralized exchanges as well. And judging by the recent performance, I imagine they'll be listed quite soon. And if you guys remember the news I announced of the Solana Saga 2 phone a few few months ago, well, Stooges is actually giving away 5 Saga 2 phones and an airdrop of 5% of the token supply for the community members that actually complete various tasks. With only 15 or so days left, if you're interested, you better be quick and check out the links in the description to participate in these giveaways. And while you're down there, it may be worth looking at the payment card they're actually building as well. They've said it'll work seamlessly with Apple and Google Pay as well as ATM usage, so prepare for that in Q3 of this year. So all in all, I want to give a huge shout out to Stooges for sponsoring this video. We all know how important marketing is in crypto, and the fact that Stooges is launching an international marketing campaign to reach all corners of the globe like Asia, the UK, USA, and more is really great to see. All links will be down below, guys. Take a look and see what you think. Gosh, this next point is really going to ruin a lot of people, unfortunately, and that is narratives. That is being diverse amongst a broad range of high quality niches in the market. Now, I've outlined the niches here. Okay, these niches above are the ones I've got, again, in the bull run cheat sheet. It's got all of this and more, right? Price prediction, the whole lot. You guys know where to find that, right? And so I've outlined what I believe are the 9 and 10 narratives of the bull run, the top performing ones, the ones in which you can see in green here, most coins should succeed. And even if the coins are crap, they should do well if they're in one or multiple of these areas. Now, the further down you come, right, into these smaller, crappier narratives, at least in my opinion, all subjective, it's much harder for you to find the winning coins in amongst the sea. The ones that separate themselves down here are the ones that are truly, truly unique and really wow. And oftentimes they actually have a couple higher ranking narratives themselves anyway. So it's very important we find coins that hit these narratives that have been proven to work so far. AI, DeepIn, gaming really hasn't popped off, but this normally does come later in the cycle. Modularity, layer 2s, oracles, app chains, so layer 3s, interoperability, right? These are massive, massive areas of the bull run. Real world asset tokenization, okay? So some names like Ondo, Goldfinch, even a DeFi project like Aerodrome Finance, for example, Render, ICP, Near Protocol, they should all be glaring and sticking out to us. And I get it, right? Some of these coins are way too high in terms of multiples for you, right? You want more multiples. That's fine. I understand that, okay? But I'm just saying find the coins similar to these because they're in very strong narratives. Now, you do want to pick a nice variety of these coins, because in tomorrow's video, I go over a really good example here of kind of showing you how the crypto market looks in terms of the performance of these narratives. And you want to be diverse amongst many of these different top narratives to reduce risk. If you're all in on AI and AI doesn't pop off as well as we expect it to for some reason, which it probably won't, then in that case, you're at least exposed to other top narratives as well. It's being diverse amongst narratives, which often isn't spoken about in terms of your portfolio. So many people say to you, well, hey, Jimmy, you should look for large caps, small caps, mid caps, and all those in terms of the market cap sizes. And again, this is a very important concept, which is why I speak about it often as well. And this is, again, a part of my bull run cheat sheet here. We speak about this in the risk tolerance tables. Okay, but, and here's a big but, again, you want to be spread amongst the performing areas of the market. There's no one big kumbaya moment with Bitcoin and everything goes to zero. It doesn't work like that. Tip 5 here is one I've been speaking about a lot, which allows a sheet like mine that I've created here to really prosper. And that is when you dollar cost average, guys, when you buy the tokens or whatever, right? When you set goals, all right, and you should always set goals first before looking at any sort of numbers. And you're looking at your coins and what your exit prices are. For example, here's a mock portfolio, right? Here's a whole bunch of coins. Here's my average buy price for all of these coins. I might zoom in a little bit more so you guys can see very clearly here, okay? And here's my exit price. You can see the multiples I'm looking to make on each of these coins, okay? Quite high, probably averaging a 15x on all these coins, okay? But if you don't set a clear goal up here, this might be the goal over here, well, how are you going to know how much you actually need to sell or how much you need to make? Because theoretically, if you only need to make, let's just say, $200,000 and you're aiming for a $500,000 portfolio, here's what I want you to think about. And this is why it's again important to do goal setting first, because you only want to make what you really need to achieve what you need to in this cycle. There will be a next cycle, which is why you might want to have a certain amount of money you want to make to reinvest back into crypto to make more money. But guys, don't get greedy with it. And here's why. Here's the next point. I want you to go through, once you've established all of this, again, this sheet's available in the private community, is to then have a look at your average sell prices. Again, you can do this on your own portfolio. I'm not trying to push you to use this particular sheet here, but you might take your average buy price or sell price for Near Protocol, and rather than make it a 19x, you may only need to sell $30, okay? And there you go. Your multiples have now reduced significantly, which means we've reduced risk significantly. You can see the overall revenue has dropped, as you might imagine, but you want to do this for all of your coins. Like for Mina Protocol, okay, you might want to make this, for example, $5 and hit our H-bar 55 cents. And you can see the multiples dropping. Yes, again, your revenue will obviously drop, but you're only trying to make this literally match up with your goals. This is a very important part, is reducing risk. Please, if I have to get on my hands and knees, I will, right? Please look at what goals you need in this cycle, what you need out of the market. Not, I want to buy a Lambo car, or I want to have $3 million cash because it's just good to have cash. And, I also want to buy a new store. No, what do you actually want to achieve? Set 1 or 2 specific goals here, including maybe cash. Maybe it is a new car, whatever. But don't be over enthusiastic, because the more you add on to that, the more you build up, the more multiples you need. And as we just established, the more multiples you're trying to get, the basically more risky it becomes. Like this says here, this is a part of my risk tolerance table as well. If you're looking for a 40x, no matter on what coin it is, micro cap, large cap, whatever, you're going to have 80% risk. If you're looking for a 10x or a 15x, 20 or 30% risk. So these are the things we have to consider as the multiples risk, and a lot of you guys are risking too much, being too over enthusiastic, which is why you typically are going to be my exit liquidity for the bull run. And lastly, like I said, this may surprise some of you that are even decided to say this, but I think it is necessary for the few of you that actually might use this. And that is, it is okay to make a decision now. Again, this is why it's important to listen to this video now when the market is currently down, if not moving sideways for a while here, to sell a coin or a portion of your position in a coin based on a change of narrative. A lot of people get angry and upset with me when I decide to sell some or all of a coin that I've been talking about before. If something changes in the coin, again, being bad or good, it is fine to make a clear decision based on that, right? A buy or a sell. Now, here's where it comes tricky, and here's where I get a little bit of negative feedback on this sort of thing, is people will say, well, Kyron, that makes sense, but what about the beginner? The beginner isn't going to know when that happens, right? When to do that. Now, I understand, right? It is definitely difficult for a beginner to discern a good time to go deeper into a coin or more out of a coin because of good or bad news. I'll give you a prime example here of a situation with Quant Network, okay? So Quant was one that I've been pushing for quite a while now, okay, for like maybe 2 years. When I say pushing, I shouldn't say pushing. I was just talking about it because I loved it and I was invested in it. It was my second largest holding. But upon realizing the new narratives of the bull run, again, what's going to work really well in this cycle, I began to realize that Quant really wasn't going to be a part of those top narratives. It wasn't going to be a part of these. Yes, it falls into interoperability. Yes, it does. But it is hyper-focused on institutions, not retail, not us. So it doesn't care about marketing itself to us. It's working on the back end right now. Those fruits of its labor will come up at some point. But for this cycle, unlikely to. Now, I think it'll still do well. It probably will make a 5 to 10x, probably still. But for what I need a good at least 12, 13x in these coins for me to sell at an 8x, so I'm still selling in liquidity. So all I'm trying to say here, guys, is, again, don't think of this as too brash or dead set point, or if a project announces something bad, sell all the coins straight away. No, they're going to make mistakes, and just like crypto suffers from amnesia, we'll forget about it in a month or two after. But if it is seriously bad, you can and not completely sell, but remove some of your position and offload that into a possibly better coin or position that maybe you wanted to anyway, like is a perfect time to do now on this current sort of dip. So what I want you to do after this video is write down and research every coin that you feel like possibly has had any hint of bad news, or possibly one you're not convicted in, or a coin you have a horrible entry in, or anything listed in this video, and write out the reasons why you actually like it. 1 or 2 sentences, and if you can't do that, or you write down something that's bad, maybe consider just rebalancing, right? Doing something to allow you to be in a better position than you were today or yesterday, for example. So guys, that will do it for this video. I hope you have enjoyed. It's been a bit of a different one, but I think it is an important one at the current time nonetheless. And I'll talk to you all tomorrow. Take care. Bye.